1978, Kermit the Frog with puppeteer Jim Henson cut the ribbon on the Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta, Georgia. Today, the center is the largest nonprofit in the U.S. dedicated to the art of puppetry, welcoming over 160,000 visitors a year. The center presents over 600 full-scale puppetry performances each season. Its education department offers more than 50 unique programs, including its Create a Puppet Workshop, where children can extend their theater experience by creating a theme-based puppet of their very own. The Center's Worlds of Puppetry Museum contains over 4,000 artifacts, including the largest collection of Jim Henson puppets in the world, along with an immense global collection of puppets from nearly every tradition around the world. For over 20 years, the Center's Digital Learning Department has provided interactive puppetry workshops and puppet shows from its digital studios at the Center. As a pioneer in the field of distance learning, the Center's digital learning team has honed its skills and refined its ability to deliver and develop purpose-built, curriculum-based educational programming that has been presented in all 50 states and more than 75 countries.
Really what makes our programs unique is that we have this art infusion into our programs. We don't just want to be a talking head. You already have a disconnect with the classroom being somewhere else. We don't just talk to them. We have lots of different movement. We use kinesthetics. We build a craft. And there are just so many different aspects of our programming that really tie and bring those children into our studio as if we were there with them. The puppet is not just a craft that we add on. We really try to tie it into the teaching of the program. So a great example of us doing that is in our butterfly program. We'll talk about the life cycle of the butterfly. We'll talk about the body parts. And as we talk about those things, we'll do something with them where what makes a butterfly, what is it categorized as? Well, it's an insect. What makes it an insect? It has 3 body parts. So we'll do a little movement, head, thorax, abdomen with them. And then we'll go to our puppet building and we'll add that right after we discussed it, saw it on our butterfly. So it really helps with that learning retention.
This year, the Center for Interactive Learning and Collaboration honored the Center for Puppetry Arts with its prestigious Hall of Fame Award. As the world struggles to teach and interact online, the Center continues to do what it's done for decades: deliver accessible, award-winning, curriculum-based programming to anyone, anywhere.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. So that's just a little, just a small look at our operations here at the Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta, Georgia. If you have any more questions about us, check us out at, again, www.puppet.org. And also we have a pretty good Facebook page going on. So follow us on Facebook and you'll see lots of announcements about the shows that you can see through Zoom, the virtual tours that you can take here at the museum, and any special events we might be having. So in just a second, I'm very excited to show you a little bit of my show that I built and created here for digital learning. And then afterwards, the last part of our time together, we're going to have a puppet building experience. You saw in the video that we have a lot of build a puppet workshops. So when kids come and see a show here, a live puppet show, they also have an opportunity to go into our classrooms and have craft time and make a puppet. Usually it's themed after the show that they're watching. So it's a really fun way to connect to the show even further. And then kids have like an actual puppet that they can take home and keep with them. So we're going to have an opportunity to make a little puppet together. I think Brian mentioned the materials that we're going to be using is construction paper and scissors and tape and glue and pencils and markers. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that this puppet, I'm also building around a cup. So if you have a paper cup or a styrofoam cup, that's a really good base for this puppet. We're going to put it on our hands. I'm going to decorate it. And here's a finished dog. So this is just a hand puppet. And if you don't have a cup, we can make a tube out of our paper as well. And so don't worry about that. One of the fun things about making crafts and building puppets is there's not really just one way to build a puppet. There are millions of ways to build a puppet. And every time I build a puppet, I'm a big puppet builder, and I love puppet building. I went to art school myself, and so I've always loved drawing and creating fun characters and stuff. And I've really liked theater, and so I found that puppetry is the perfect blend between theater and visual arts, like drawing and painting and things like that. And so every time I build a puppet, it's kind of a new experience every time. Every puppet has its own needs. So when you're building, you have to kind of just figure it out as you go. And I love that. I think it's really exciting to discover new things every time you go and make something. So we're going to experience that today. If you don't have the patterns that are linked to from your registration, don't worry about that either. We're going to see ways to just put this all together with what we have. Hopefully you'll have a lot of fun doing it. Well, I guess I will go ahead and get us started with Aesop's Fantabulous Fables. And just a little preamble to that. What you'll be seeing is what I call a tabletop puppet show. Another thing I love about puppets, there's not just one way to build one, and there's not just one kind of puppet. There's so many different kinds. They all operate in different ways. They're all different sizes and shapes. Some people make tiny, tiny little puppets. You have to lean in and look at. Some people make huge ones that 3 or 4 people have to operate in the streets and parades. And some puppets are on strings, like marionettes. Some are just hand puppets you put on your hand. And this is a really fun kind of puppetry that we'll be seeing here. Like I said, it's called tabletop. So you're going to see me the whole time. It's not going to be like a puppet show that you might be used to where you don't see the puppeteer. They're down here, they got the hand up to the puppet, and they're doing that. You'll see me the whole time. And that helps my shows be much more interactive. I can talk to you guys out there during the show. I can ask the audience questions, and you guys can shout the answers at me or type them in the chat room. And so feel free to play along, call out to the screen. I may not be able to hear individual people, but I know you're out there. So just follow along, and you might find there's some really cool ways that you can interact with this puppet show while I'm doing it. And so what we'll do, we'll get started. I'm going to get my costume on and all my puppets, and everybody sit back. We're gonna watch the first section of Aesop's Fantabulous Fables. Well, thanks for joining us. Everybody sit back, enjoy this puppet show. And if you have any questions about these puppets, think about those questions, type them in the chat room, and I'll be able to get to them after the show. All right, thanks, guys. Enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Aesop. Can everybody out there say, hey, Aesop? Now, you may have heard my name said a little differently, too. Some people call me Aesop. Can everybody say, hi, Aesop? Now, everyone say, Aesop. Say, Aesop. Say, Aesop, 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 Aesop. Huh. Well, I don't mind which one you want to call me. Both are correct, so you can decide on Aesop or Aesop. I don't mind. And you may have heard of me before because I'm very well known for the stories I wrote, also known as fables. I'm actually what is called a fabulist. That is a word that means a person who writes fables. I like the sound of that word. Everybody say fabulist. Right. I wrote over 100 of these stories or fables, and they often have animals in them, and some people still know today. See, I did live a long time ago. I lived 2,600 years ago in a place called ancient Greece. But these stories are very, very popular even today, so you might know some of them. And you may wonder why I wrote so many. Well, you see, here in ancient Greece, I am a servant, and I work in this palace, and I have to take care of all of the goings-on of the palace every day. And it gets a little boring, so I make up stories to entertain myself. Do you do that ever? Do you ever make up funny stories or silly songs when you're doing something really boring that you don't want to do? Yeah, that's what I do. And it really entertains me. And I find things around the palace that I can use to make puppets to tell my fables with. Puppets? What? That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Oh, hi, Cecil. Have you ever heard of a grown man playing with puppets? Cecil. Boy, must be off his rocker. Cecil. Bong cuckoo, Cecil. Hello. Hi, everybody. This is my friend Cecil the lion. Say hello, Cecil. Rah! Cecil, why did you do that? Oh, sorry. That's hello in lion. Oh, I see. Well, I was just telling our new friends here that I use puppets like you to tell my stories or fables. What? I'm not a puppet. Well, actually, you are. What? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I'm not. You are. I'm not. You are. Not. Are. Not. Are. Not. Everyone help us out. Is Cecil here a puppet? What? Yeah, I think you better look down here, buddy. What are you talking about? Never mind. Well, like I was saying, I use puppets like you to tell my stories. You know, I made you out of an old potholder. What? Oh, I don't want to hear it. Well, that's all right. I also use my stories to teach valuable lessons. What? Oh, boring. Not another lesson. Well, lessons are important, Cecil. You know, they help you get through life. They do? Yeah. Will they make me rich? Well, because I want to be rich. Yeah, with a big stretch limo. Ooh, and zebra skin shoes. Oh, and a personal robot to do my bidding. Well, it may not do all of that for you. Aw, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's 2,600 years ago. Robots haven't been invented yet. What? Oh, man. Well, lessons will help you learn how to do the right thing. That's important. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. And we call the lessons at the end of my fables morals. Marbles? That's a silly thing to call a lesson. Not marbles, Cecil. Morals. Everybody out there say morals. Yeah. Well, maybe it would help you if I illustrated one of my fables and acted them out. Would you like to see one? Oh, sure. Yeah. In fact, I think you'll like this one. You may have heard of it before. Has anyone out there ever heard of The Boy Who Cried Wolf? What? The Boy Who Cried Wolf? Everybody knows that. Oh, yeah. You've heard it? Oh, sure. It's the story about the boy and the wolf and the crying. You may need a little refresher there. Well, why don't I go ahead and put you in your basket? Everybody say bye to Cecil. Bye to Cecil. Yes, very good. And let's tell the story of the boy who cried wolf. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful little village in the countryside. This village was filled with farmers and shepherds. And at the edge of this village was a big, lush, beautiful green meadow. The villagers used this meadow to help graze their sheep. Meh. Meh, meh, meh. This meadow was also at the edge of a very dark and mysterious forest. The forest was very scary and was said to be the home of a terrible wolf that was running around and eating all of the sheep. Ho, ho, ho! Me! Well, the villagers are so upset that all of their sheep were getting eaten that they decided to put together a wolf patrol to try to catch the wolf and keep him from eating any more sheep. I think I got an idea here. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. And there we go. Wolf patrol! Wolf patrol! Wolf patrol! Wolf patrol! Go! Hello there! It is I, the constable of this village. And I am on wolf patrol. That's right. There's a horrible wolf going around eating all of our sheep. Well, no more on my watch. I'm here to put an end to this nonsense. Yes. But I need the help of everyone in this village. So, if you see a wolf, I need you to cry out, "Oh, wolf!" Let me hear you do that. "Oh, wolf!" Very good. All right. Keep your eyes open. I shall return. Wolf patrol, wolf patrol, wolf patrol. Well, at one end of this meadow, there was a young little shepherd boy looking after his sheep. Meh, meh. Boring. Meh. I'm sorry, Lanolin, but it's true. Looking after you sheep is boring. Meh. Well, what am I supposed to do? Watch you eat grass all day? Meh. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. It's just I'm so bored. I wish something interesting would happen around here. What's that? Wolf patrol, wolf patrol, wolf patrol. Hello there, little shepherd boy. Madam? Meh. Oh, hi, Mr. Constable. What's going on? Well, I'm on wolf patrol. There's a horrible, nasty wolf on the loose. Meh. A wolf? Cool. What? There's nothing cool about a wolf, boy. It's going around eating all our sheep. Meh. Don't worry, kid. I'll take care of you. Well, I'm here to put a stop to it. So I need the help of everyone in the village to tell me if they see a wolf. Everyone out there, show this little shepherd boy what he should do. Very good. You cry, "Wolf!" Do you think you can do that? Oh, sure. No problem. Very good. And remember, constant vigilance. Wolf patrol, wolf patrol, wolf patrol. Boy, that guy's a weirdo. Meh. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to take care of you. Besides, there's probably no wolf. It's probably fake news. Meh. Go back and eat your grass. Nothing interesting's going to happen around here. Meh. Hey, I got an idea. Wouldn't it be funny if I were to cry out wolf and the constable came running and he thought there was a wolf, but there really wasn't a wolf, and then I tricked him? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Me. Oh, come on. I think it'd be a riot. How about you, everybody? Don't you think that'd be funny? Me. Stop being such a spoil sport. I'm going to do it. I'm bored. Here I go. Woof, woof, woof. Meh. Woof, woof, woof. Help, help, help. There's a wolf. Help, someone help me. Wolf patrol, coming through. Who, what, when, where, why, how? Oh, it's you. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Constable, you gotta help. I saw the wolf. You did? Yes. Oh, and it was horrible. It was? Yes. He had big, sharp, white teeth, dripping with blood. Oh, my. Yeah. And big red it, did he? Yep. Guess you better go get him. Oh, my, I didn't expect that wolf to be here so soon. Well, it's my job after all. That's what I'm here for. Courage, man. Here we go. Let's see. Here, Wolfie, Wolfie, Wolfie. Here, Wolfie. Me. Ah! Ooh. Me. Me. What's going on? Psych! I fooled ya! I fooled ya! I cried wolf and you came running thinking there was a wolf and there really wasn't a wolf. I tricked ya! I tricked ya! What? This is preposterous! Bamboozling a police officer? Why, I ought to haul you in, boy. Come on. You should be relieved there isn't really a wolf. Well, it's not my job to be relieved. It's my job to protect this village. Now, next time I hear about a wolf, I want to see a wolf. Even if he's so scary, I'm going to want my mommy. Good day. Wolf Patrol, Wolf Patrol. No, that wasn't quite as fun as I thought it would be. Meh. What are you so upset about? Meh. Oh, gosh, you're such a party pooper. Meh. All right. If it's so important to you, I won't cry wolf anymore. Meh. Sure is going to be boring around here, though. Well, out of respect for his sheep, the little boy decided not to cry wolf anymore. Until the next day, when boredom set in again. Ah! I'm so bored. Ah, there's got to be something to do around here. Hey, you know what? I think I'm going to cry wolf again. Should I do it? Should I do it? I don't care. I'm bored. I'm going to do it. Wolf! 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 Help! Wolf! 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 There's the wolf! Help! Somebody help me! Me! Help! Somebody! Wolf! 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 Wolf Patrol! Coming through! What? Oh, it's you. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness you came. I saw the wolf. You did? Yeah. Wait a second. Everyone, tell me, is there really a wolf? Psych! I got you again. Well, I see how it is. You cry wolf and I come running thinking there's a wolf and there's no wolf. Is that how it is? You betcha. Well, we'll see what happens next time you go crying wolf. Good day. Now that seemed to be even less fun the second time. Boy. Well, what am I supposed to do? It's boring around here. Nothing happens. I wish there was a wolf, but there sure isn't, because it's too boring for that. If there was a wolf, maybe things would be a little more... That's funny. I thought I heard something. Anyway, like I was saying, if there was a wolf, I'd know there was a wolf anyway, because I'm a shepherd boy. I know these things. Did you guys see anything behind me there? What? What? A wolf? No. Oh, you're just trying to scare me. What? Behind this tree? No. Let me see. I didn't see anything. Ha, see, I told you. There's no wolf. Wolf! Ah! Ah! Oh no, it's a wolf! Help, help! Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Oh. Ah! Oh my gosh! That's actually a wolf, and he's trying to get me. I need some help. Oh no! Where's Landolin? I gotta get her. Landolin, you gotta run. I saw the wolf. What? No, I'm not joking. What? You don't believe me? You don't? Well, no, come back. There really is a wolf. Man, my own sheep doesn't believe me. Oh, where are the cops when you need them? That's it. Everybody, we have to call the constable. Dad! Quick, everyone, I need you on the count of 3 to yell wolf really loud. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wolf! Help, 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 help! Wolf Patrol, coming through. No, it's you. Yes! Oh, thank goodness you're here, Constable. The wolf is here. He's chasing me. He's going to eat me. Oh, is he? Yes. I suppose you need my help then. Yes, I do. Well, in that case, I have just one question for you. What's that? Just how dumb do you think I am? Oh, honestly, always crying wolf and I come running and there's never a wolf. Well, no more. I've had it with these shenanigans. I didn't just fall off that turnip truck, you know. That happened years ago. But wait, I said good day. Oh man, not even the cops believe me. Oh, isn't there anyone who believes me? Uh-huh. Wolf! Help! Oh man, I gotta get out of here. Whoa! Whoa! Ow! I twisted my ankle. Oh no, I can't get up. Oh no! Oh, this is horrible. Oh, who knew this would happen? Oh, look away, everybody. This is gonna get gruesome. Oh, why did I ever cry wolf before? Why? Me. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Me. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Mimi! Landolin! You did it! You saved me! Everyone, hooray for Landolin! Yay! Oh, you did it, girl! Meh! What's that? Meh! You're leaving me? Meh! But you can't leave me! Meh! But what's a little shepherd boy without his sheep? Well, that little shepherd boy was very lucky to be saved by his sheep from the horrible wolf. But because of all of his lies, he lost all of his sheep and found himself out of a job. Oh, now I'm really bored. Oh. And that was the story of the boy who cried. What? Wolf! Exactly! Very good! And thank you, everybody. That's the part of the puppet show for today. So, I hope everybody liked it. I'm going to just get out of my costume here. And now I think we have time for our puppet building segment. Well, I hope everybody liked the show. You may have noticed that these were tabletop puppets. And another word for these puppets are called found object puppets, because a lot of them were made with things that you can find around the house. They're obvious objects that you kind of put together to make a funny puppet. And so you may have some questions about those. And if I have time, I might show you a few others from the other stories. We'll put the constable right here. So, if everybody wants to follow along, we're going to build a puppet now. And I like to teach by building a puppet right in real time, right with everybody, right along while everyone else is building. So that way we can all be kept up and make a whole puppet while we're together. I have a series of videos that you can find on the Center for Puppetry Arts Facebook page. It's called Make It. And there we have about 20 different videos that range from half an hour to even an hour, where I build a puppet in each episode in real time, and you can build along with me. So if you're interested in building more puppets after this today, check out our series Make It that we have on Facebook as part of our video collection. So anyway, what we're going to do today is make this little cat or dog, depending on what you prefer, and puppet. So the things we need is we're going to build it on a cup. And that's kind of like making a found object puppet too. You get something that you had that was something else before, had a different purpose, and you repurpose it and make a puppet out of it. And I have a camera set up here where you're going to be able to see how I'm building things. Here we go. And you can build right along with me. Now, when you registered, there should be a link to some patterns. And you can use these patterns if you want, but if you don't have a printer or anything like that, what I like to do is print these out on like heavy cardstock and trace them, and then I can put them on the color paper that I want, and just trace it, and then I can cut out the pieces and make the puppet. But if you don't have a printer, you don't have to worry about things like this. We're going to make a pretty simple puppet that anybody can make, and I'll show you what to do. So if you don't have a cup, you even can do something about that too. So why don't let's pretend I don't have a cup too. So all I need to do is make like a cylinder out of some paper. Maybe I'll cut it down so it's about as tall as a cup would be. So maybe I'm going to fold it till it's about the size of a good cup. Yeah, let's just fold it like this. And I'm going to make a sharp fold because that'll show me where to cut. Sometimes that's the best way to cut a straight line, is just to fold it, and then you can cut along the fold and make a really nice straight cut. So if you don't have a cup to work with, you can just get some paper and make a big long rectangle that's about the height of a cup, and then I'm just going to roll it and tape it into like a cup shape. Let's do that. And it just will need to be big enough for you to stick your hand in on one side. So let's just roll this up. And that should be, that's about the same size, maybe a little bigger there. And I'm just going to tape it with some tape. And you can use glue too. Sometimes I use glue and tape at the same time because puppets like to fall apart. You know, we move them around a lot. And you saw what I did. I have my puppets screaming and running around. So it's good to make real sturdy puppets. So using glue and tape to make sure things don't fall apart is never a bad idea. So let me just put a little more tape here. And that ought to do it. Yeah. In fact, I might make it a little shorter. Let's just cut just a little bit. Yeah, just cut some of it off. So this is going to be my body. There we go. This end's a little bigger, so it fits my hand a little better. Now, what the pattern is, I've got a pattern of a body. And the body is going to just drape over your cup like this. And as you see, it looks kind of like a bear rug. Like this is the back part, and these are the legs of a cat, and this is the tail. And so you lay this on top of your cup or your cylinder that we made, and that will make the body of it. So if you don't have this pattern, you can even just make it by folding one piece of colored paper like this in half. And you can just draw the body yourself. So let's see. I've got a little tab here to make a way to stick the head on. So it's like the neck. So just make a neck. And I've folded it in half so that what I'm going to do is, it's like a paper doll. I'm going to cut it out and then unfold it, and then it'll be symmetrical. It'll be the same on both sides. See that? It's just an easier way to make something that's the same on both sides. So you just need to draw one arm or leg going this way, and then you need enough that will cover the top of the cup, and then make another leg, and then some sort of tail. So I'm going to make a cat. I'm more of a cat person, but we have patterns to make a cat or a dog, whichever one you prefer. So look at this. By drawing half of it, now if I keep it folded and I cut it, all right. And if you can't get this all done while we're watching, that's okay. You can perfect it after the program today. Because sometimes it takes a lot of time to make a good puppet. So don't feel rushed or anything. But look what happens when I cut out one side of the body. Let's unfold it. Ta-da! Look at that. And now I'm going to put it around the top of this cylinder. So the cylinder is like the structure of the puppet, and then this is the body. And I'm going to use this side since you can't see the pencil lines that way. And if you want, I could make a stripy cat. Maybe I'll make some stripes. You could do this now or after you've put the puppet together. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's easier to draw the things on that you want when your puppet's still flat, you know. So I'm putting little toes on the cat. Okay. And now I'm going to put some glue. Guess what? I'm going to tape and glue at the same time. Here we go. I've got that kind of glue that's purple, which is good. You can see where I'm gluing. But then it dries clear, which is pretty cool. And we won't put any on this neck yet because we're going to fold the neck up. You won't need any on the tail either. So let's take this, and it's just going to go on top of the cylinder. Oh, you know what? This side fits my hand a little better, so I'm turning it around. There we go. This fits my hand pretty good. And let's fold up the neck so we can glue a head on there. This looks kind of like a tiger or cat sort of thing. And I'm going to get some tape also and just tape it in the belly right here between the legs. In fact, if you don't have glue, you could probably get away with just taping it between the legs on either side of the belly. Now, hey, have you ever taken paper and you kind of run a pencil on it like this and it makes it curly? See that? I thought that would look good for the tail. That's cool. So now we're missing a head, but that's all we need. So let's make a head for the cat. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold a piece of paper in half and draw half of the cat head. Then my ears will be the same size and it'll look symmetrical. So we're drawing like half an oval, like half an egg. But you can make it look any way you want. Just Try to imagine what it'll look like once you unfold it. Let's see what this is like. And you know, sometimes I change my mind a little bit when I'm cutting things out, and I don't quite cut on the line I drew, and that's okay, because you know, you can kind of change your mind. You might feel like you want, like I want my ears a little closer together, so I just cut them a little differently. Just erase them. Like I was saying at the beginning, there's kind of no one way to build a puppet. You just build as you go. So there we go. Now that'll be the head, and we'll glue it there. But let's draw on it. And you know, we can draw on it, or we can cut out some bits of paper to make like a nose, or maybe the inside of the ears would look good. Here to make sure they look the same, I'll just fold one piece of paper in half and make some ear pieces. There you go, like that. So let's do that. I'll just glue that on. Well, I hope everyone's enjoying doing this. And even if you can't build along, hopefully this will inspire you to try to make something like this yourself. And you can make any animal you want. I have a cousin that built some of these with me, and he made all sorts of different animals. He made a cat and a dog, but then he wanted to make more. So he made an elephant and a lion, and I think he made lots of animals like that. And now let's make a nose. I'll just make like a little triangle nose. Like a little red triangle nose. Let's do that. That's pretty cool. He's getting some personality. And oh, cats are cool when they have like green or yellow eyes. Let's give him some yellow eyes. And I'm going to do this again. I'm going to fold it and make two eyes at once. I'll just make little football shape eyes, you know, like a cat. Some creepy yellow cat eyes. There we go. Oh, I like that. So let's do that.
Seriously.
Sometimes when you're building puppets, you plan way in advance, and you make blueprints, and you make diagrams and sketches of your puppet, or you can just kind of wing it. And both ways of doing it are correct. There's not one correct way. You can just do things how they best work for you. That's a big, wide cat smile. Well, that's pretty cool. There we go. And now the only thing I got to do is put the head on. So let's put the glue on the tab that's going to hold the head. And I hope everybody's thinking of some questions that you might like to ask me about making puppets, or about the puppets I made for the Aesop show. And my glue looks a little red there, but I know that I know from experience it will dry clear, so that's just fine. And look, I'm going to get some tape anyway, put it on there too, just to make sure it stays together. And look at that. So here we have a pretty cool cat. Let me switch my camera and we'll take a look at it from a different angle. There we go. All right. There we go. And instead of this little cylinder that I made, you could use a cup. And I love using recycled materials to make puppets. I've got a few others here I might show you. Here's a monkey that I made for another part of the show. And I tried to use objects that kind of had something to do with the character. So a monkey, I used coconuts. These are old coconuts. This was like a party mug that was made from a coconut. So I used that. and I used a bamboo cane and sawed off the end and made a tail. And then I put some fur on it. So it's pretty fun to go and his nose is made from little acorn tops. And these are little pieces of wood for his eyes. But it's really fun to see how you can Frankenstein puppets together sometimes. All right. Well, that's our craft. And like I said, you can build other kind of animals too. You can make a cat or a dog or any animal that you think is cool. And you can use a cup or you can just make your own cylinder for the base. Well, all right, Brian, thank you so much. I hope everybody's enjoying the craft. And I'd love to be able to see what people make from this time together today.
Me too. I like yours. I think my favorite cereals, Frosted Flakes, and baseball teams, the Detroit Tigers. I get the Tigers. So
there you go.
I know kind of they get to win the prize, but I'm kind of hoping to win that one. That's pretty amazing. Thank you, Jeff. Hey, like Jeff mentioned, we want to see your puppets, and so here's the time you've been waiting for. Hopefully, you've got a camera nearby. If yours is done, and if it's not, that's okay too. Just lean into the screen and smile. We want to give you an opportunity. We'll take about 45 seconds or so. Lean into the screen. Jeff, if you want to hold up one of your puppets, maybe the one they could win, or a lot of people love the Constable. We'll do a couple pictures. Now's your chance to lean into the screen and take a picture with Jeff. And if you upload it to Instagram, we'll put up all the addresses on the way out. You'll be entered to win your very own handcrafted puppet by Jeff. So get those cameras ready. Get your puppets ready. Jeff, take it away.
All right. And I also have the puppet that you can win if you'd like to see it. I love to make puppets, so I made a puppet just for today. Oh boy! Yeah, so you can win this if you go onto Instagram and post your picture. There'll be a drawing, I think. Is that right, Brian? And we'll see who wins the puppet. Oh boy, I can't wait. All right, everybody. Take a selfie, and I hope you've been having a good time. I wonder where I'm going to go. I know you're going to get a new home. Oh, boy! And that? Oh, that's mine. Oh. Great.
All right, I kind of felt like the puppeteer. I could make you stand on camera and smile for a while, so it was kind of my Geppetto moment to yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get a picture, that's okay. Jeff smiles when he talks, and there will be puppets for all of your questions and answers. Jeff, I know you encourage questions. We got a lot of really good ones. Let me start with.
Did you?
Oh, tons. People, and the most popular one. People really like the Constable. Most popular one was, how do you get that really cool head bobble with the Constable? Can you tell us a little bit more about what the Constable's made of and particularly how it's
Sure. This is pretty simple, actually. Like we saw, he comes apart. He was a vase. That's how he started out. I found this vase at a Goodwill. And I knew I wanted to make this Constable, and I just saw this vase, and I was like, that would be a good body. So I put some Velcro here, and I made the head with Velcro on the bottom so that it'll stick onto the vase, and I don't have to worry about the head falling out. Now, the Velcro on his head is connected to like a lid. I think I used just like a small lid that I found, and I took a little rope, I think. I just kind of pinned this into the center of the lid and let it just stay a little loose so that I could get that nice head wobble. Because one great thing when you're making puppets is to give them opportunities to move, to have little movement. That's why using puppets made out of fur is really good. This little guy is fun because he's got these arms. The inside of his arms are Mardi Gras beads. And I just covered that with fur, and there's a little string here holding so that he can have crazy moving arms. Yay! Hey, you can do a Grover impression like you did, Brian. Hello, everybody!
His is so much better. That's I'll have to work on that. Now that I know the secret, I'll make one.
So he had an advantage.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't have beads in my arm, so that's it. Hey, while you're talking about the head bob and giving puppets personality, another really common question was, how do you get puppets to do facial expressions? How do we give them personality? And particularly the questions we saw were about facial expressions.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know what? The advantage of doing tabletop is that you can see my face. Now, if I'm doing a good job as a puppeteer, you're not really looking at my face that much, I hope. You're looking at the puppets. But these puppets don't have moving parts on their faces, so I kind of help out a little bit with my own face. And you may not notice it while you're watching it, but it helps tell the story. Like this. Hey, don't you think that'd be funny? Me. Oh, come on. I think I should cry wolf. Me. So I'm doing a little bit of storytelling with my face, too. And the audience watches the puppets, and they kind of get a little more idea of what. So our imagination kind of fills in the facial expressions on some of them. Now, some puppets are a lot easier to make facial expressions, like my good friend Cecil here, because he's just like a pot holder sort of thing. He's like a sock puppet, really, just a little bigger. What? Yeah. And see, my hand can do all sorts of things in here. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. And you may see Kermit is like that. There's not a lot of stuffing in his head. So you see the puppeteer's hand a lot. And with your hand, you can make all sorts of funny blah, blah, blah. So it's fun to have a way to be able to see your hand some way. And some puppets have a little more stuffing in their heads than others. Like this guy has a little pillow in his head, but he's still, he can't move his eyes. They're just little dots. But, if you have a really convincing focus on your puppet, that means where the puppet's looking. Here, I'm going to do you an eye test. Okay. Okay. All right. What? Oh, you passed. I passed. Yeah. And that's a good practice. If you want to be a puppeteer, being able to get a convincing focus on your puppet. And where the puppet's looking always helps tell the story, If a puppet wants to go this way, he'll turn and look where he's going to go. And then he'll walk that way. Then he'll look over here. So you can tell a lot. Lot of stories just by where your puppet is looking. Ah, that's cool. Yeah. How about another question?
Perfect. Hey, relatedly, these are great. So we're learning about, where the puppets look and how we give them personality, how we make them move. Another really common one was, how do we learn to do different voices for the puppets, and where do you get your ideas for their voices?
Well, you know what? I think most of us are a lot better at that than we think we are. How many of you have like a favorite movie or a favorite animated film that you like to quote or a joke from a movie that you like to say at home a lot? You probably say it in the funny voice, like, oh, I said don't do that. Who knows what you are a fan of. But you've probably already done some mimicry yourself. That's mimicry means just copying the sound of something. And so that's a good way to start practicing. Go see a funny Pixar movie or something and see if you can do the voices of the characters in there. And just play around with your voice. In a way, it's like singing, because you're not just talking in one tone. That never changes. That's boring. So there's a little musicality in our voices anyway. So you can use your voice to go up high, or you can use your voice to go down low. And you can practice that. People might think you're crazy sometimes, but you know what? I find singing in the shower is a good place to try out some crazy voices. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah.
Perfect. Great advice. And the other thing I like about what you're saying about voices and cutting out your puppets and all those is it's supposed to be fun, right? It's supposed to be experimental. There's no exact one way to do it. So if you think you're doing Elmo's voice, but it's too deep, now all of a sudden it's, Oscar the Grouch's voice, and that's okay too.
Right.
So perfect. I love that. Hey, well, I think the most common, actually, one before that, two before that, and then I'll get to the most common one we get at the end.
Okay.
One is, if people want to visit the Center for Puppetry Arts, whether they live close to Atlanta or not, how could they do it? And then another one I'll answer for them is, are we doing more classes like this? The answer to that one is yes, October 14th. So go to varsitytutors.com to find out. We've got another class coming up in about a month. But Center for Puppetry Arts, how do people visit, or what can they do if they're interested but can't quite get to Georgia right now?
Yeah, well, go to puppet.org, and I think I can show that on a slide too, if that would help anyone. That's our website. Oh, let's switch from my crafts to the website, www.puppet.org, and there you'll see all sorts of information about the shows that you can watch from home. We have guest artists that are coming in and doing their puppet shows. We got a great variety of things. I'm going to be working on a new show for Christmas, a version of the Velveteen Rabbit. So starting in November, we should be offering that. So if you liked what you saw today, maybe you want to check out the new one that we'll be making. And you can also take tours of the museum from your home. We've got a little cart with a camera on it, and we wheel it around the museum so you can see everything in the museum just by making an appointment online. And all that information is on puppet.org. And also, if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see lots of opportunities for how to join us online also.
Perfect. Lots of great ways to get involved. All starts at puppet.org. So perfect. I lied a little bit. If I were Pinocchio, my nose would be growing because there's just too many questions. So not just one more, I got a couple more. And thanks to everyone for asking your questions. If we don't get to them today, we'll be back in a month to do more of it. Another two-parter for you, because there's just so many good questions coming in.
Great.
How many puppets do you think you've made in your life? And what is your favorite puppet of all time?
Oh, wow. Okay. My favorite puppet I'll think about. But let's see. I don't know. I just finished making puppets for a show, and there were probably about 20 to 25 puppets in that. And then I've made lots of other shows over the years, like for 15 years. So I'm sure I've made a couple hundred puppets, and if you count things like this, I've probably made like 1,000 puppets. But I like to do it, and you know what? The more you do, the better you get at it. I have a friend who was an art teacher, and he used to tell his students, the only reason I'm a better artist than you is because I've done a lot more bad drawings than you have. And that's true for puppet building too. Just build, and if it doesn't work out, throw it out and build a new one, or keep it until it gets old, and then you can make a new version of it and see if you can use the things that you've learned to make it a little better for yourself. And so just build. Just cut things out of paper, get recycled materials, learn about how to glue things. That can be really difficult to figure out, like, what are the best materials. And there are a lot of great places online and YouTube videos. Check out YouTube tutorials. There are a lot of great people building crafts and puppets on there, and you can get a lot of good advice that way. So just experiment. And oh yeah, my favorite puppet was
favorite puppet. I wasn't going to let you off the hook that easily. I will say, while you're thinking about it, one great thing about sort of the puppets you've made, you've showed us, you can make it with things that you just find around the house, kind of leftover containers that you would otherwise throw away. Means you don't have to be that precious with your puppet. You can make it. If you don't love it, then there's more stuff you can find and build it. So all right, that was enough time. Favorite puppet.
Okay, well, I'm going to just reach over and get my favorite puppet because it's one that I made for another show, and
I think we can allow that.
I hope that's okay. I'm coming back. All right. Well, I didn't plan to show this guy, but you asked what my favorite is, and this is my favorite one that I've built. Probably my favorite puppet out in the world might be Gonzo. He's really one of my favorites. And I love his voice, and his personality. And this is Mr. Kalachi. He is a character that I invented for another show we do here in distance learning and digital learning called Mr. Kalachi's Long List. And you can probably see some information about how to see that on our website too. And a kolache is a pastry you may or may not have heard of. It kind of depends on where you grew up or where you live. And my grandma used to make kolaches all the time. So this little puppet is kind of a tribute to my grandparents because it's a Czech pastry from the Czech Republic. And that's where my ancestors are from. So one reason this is my favorite is because it's so personal. It reminds me of my grandparents and of my heritage. And he doesn't speak either. And I kind of like that. He's kind of like a little mime, but he's very friendly, and he's quiet, and he's just my buddy.
Awesome. Good answer. Good answer. That was worth giving you some time to think about and go get.
Good.
That was perfect. All right. The last question. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Figured we'd give it a couple extra minutes just because you guys said so many amazing questions. A lot of kids are practicing making their puppets today and want to know they're enjoying it. And it kind of looks like, if you have to have a grown-up job someday, yours is the coolest. What advice do you have for somebody who wants to be like you? How would you become a puppeteer, puppet maker? What advice do you have for people who want your job someday?
That's a great question too. And there's a lot of ways to get there. I didn't really plan to be a puppeteer. I just kind of fell accidentally into it, but it was something I always wanted to do. Just if you have something you really love, just surround yourself with it and find other people who like it too. And once you find other people that you can build puppets with, why don't you ask them if they want to make a puppet show with you? And then they might go and do other puppet shows, and they might call you up and say, hey, you want to do a puppet for this thing? Sure. And so just surround yourself with that thing that you love. Watch a lot of puppet shows. There's beautiful puppet art from all around the world. You can do research and go on YouTube and watch puppets that were performed like 30, 40 years ago in Europe, across the world somewhere. And you can learn from all of those things. And there's the community of puppeteers are great. Atlanta's a really good place for puppets, not just because of the Center for Puppetry Arts, but because of the community that's built around there. There's still puppeteers working in Atlanta that I've never even met. And because there's so many of us. And you'll find the more you get into something, you'll find other people who do it too. And then you can share ideas and come up with ways to make that a career.
Awesome. Well, good advice. Like you said, just kind of keep creating, experiment, and then you'll sort of find your way. So a huge thanks, Jeff. Before I let you go, just so you've got the announcement, a lot of people asking, where are those templates? We'll email those out again. I think people who registered a little bit late may not have gotten that when we sent it out. So Varsity Tutors team will email out those templates again to the email address you registered with. Also, if you want to follow along with Jeff while you make the puppet again, or if you haven't finished yet, this will be up on the Varsity Tutors YouTube channel within the next few minutes after class is done. So you can follow along, put it on slow motion, and then pause and all those kind of things. So thanks to everyone for all of your questions, all your participations. We're going to put up on the way out the Instagram addresses where you can post your pictures with your puppets. So Jeff can check them out and you'll be entered to win. Basically, I think we're looking at Elmo or Grover's cousin right there. So you'll be able to win your own puppet. So thanks a lot, everyone. Huge thanks, Jeff. We'll see you in about a month. And for other exciting classes, check us out at varsitytutors.com. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. So great to be here. Thanks a lot.